It began with a memory, a strange, persistent memory shared by thousands across the globe, that Nelson Mandela died in prison during the 1980s. The only problem? He didn't. He was released. He became president. And he died in 2013. But to the people who remembered it differently, this wasn't a mistake. It wasn't confusion. It was real. And from that one memory, a mystery was born. This phenomenon was later called the Mandela Effect, a term coined by Fiona Broome, a paranormal researcher who discovered in 2009 that she wasn't the only one who recalled Mandela's early death. In fact, entire communities online were sharing memories of events, logos, movie lines, and cultural moments that didn't match with reality. But here's the twist. These memories weren't vague. They were vivid, clear, unshakable. So what's going on here? Is it just collective false memory? Or something much, much deeper? The Mandela Effect challenges one of our most sacred beliefs, that reality is fixed, consistent, and objective. But what if it's not? What if our world is glitching? Mainstream science explains the Mandela Effect through a psychological lens. It's just false memory, they say. Our brains misfile information. We confabulate. We merge ideas. We fill in gaps. And yes, the human brain does take shortcuts. We recognize patterns. We create schemas. We remember what makes sense, not always what actually happened. But here's the problem. These misremembered events aren't random. They're shared by thousands, sometimes millions, across cultures, ages, and languages. Why do so many people remember mirror, mirror on the wall, when the actual line is magic mirror? Why do we recall a Monopoly man with a monocle when he's never had one? Or Pikachu's black tail tip? That doesn't exist? Some scientists suggest it's cultural suggestion. Others think it's mass priming. But a growing number of researchers, philosophers, and physicists are starting to whisper a wilder possibility. What if the Mandela Effect is proof of a multiverse? In quantum theory, the many worlds interpretation suggests that every decision creates a branching reality. In one universe, Mandela died in prison. In another, he lived. Most of the time, we're anchored to one timeline. But what if, just sometimes, we shift? What if memories bleed through the cracks? And what if the Mandela Effect is not a bug in the system, but a glimpse into something far greater than we ever imagined? If we entertain the theory that the Mandela Effect is evidence of alternate realities or dimension shifts, we must then ask, is our reality stable, or is it more like a simulation? The simulation hypothesis, famously championed by philosopher Nick Bostrom and echoed by tech giants like Elon Musk, proposes that our universe is a digital construct. An advanced civilization, perhaps thousands or millions of years ahead, may have simulated entire realities for research, entertainment, or something beyond comprehension. And if we are living in such a construct, memory glitches could be more than coincidence. They could be evidence. Small alterations in the source code, rewrites, patches, maybe even timeline merges. You think that sounds like science fiction? Physicist Max Tegmark argues that at its core, the universe is mathematical patterns, formulas, functions. And where there are patterns, there can be programming. So when we remember something differently, and the world insists we're wrong, we might not be mistaken. We might be remembering a version of the program that's no longer active. In the same way a video game updates its world, our reality may be updating itself. But who or what is doing the updating? And why? Of course, there's another possibility, one that doesn't require alternate universes or simulations. What if the Mandela Effect is not natural, but engineered? History is littered with examples of governments manipulating perception, rewriting history, and experimenting with memory. During Project MKUltra, the CIA conducted secret experiments on unwitting citizens, using hypnosis, drugs, sensory deprivation, and trauma to break and rebuild memory. And we've seen real-world cases where the official story changes. Wars justified by false evidence. Historical events rewritten in textbooks. Surveillance technology used to control narratives. Could it be that what we remember did happen, but someone made sure it disappeared? In the age of deepfakes, AI-generated content, and algorithmic echo chambers. Who controls the record of truth? Maybe the Mandela effect isn't about alternate realities. Maybe it's about altered perception. A war not on nations, but on memory itself. And if memory can be controlled, so can reality. To some, the Mandela effect is a joke, a fun internet mystery, a trick of the mind. But to others, it's a signal, a sign that we're waking up to something hidden, some deeper layer of existence that's always been there, just out of reach. Carl Jung called it the collective unconscious, a shared pool of symbols, archetypes, and knowledge that connects all human minds. Could the Mandela effect be an activation of this collective awareness? Or maybe it's a symptom of consciousness itself evolving. As more people question their reality, as digital connection grows, as science begins to merge with mysticism, perhaps what we call glitches are really reminders that reality is fluid, that time is not linear, that we are more than we've been told. Even religions and ancient texts speak of alternate timelines, cycles, and great forgetting. Hinduism's concept of Maya, Buddhism's illusion of the self. Even the Bible speaks of seeing through a glass darkly. Maybe the Mandela effect is humanity's subconscious trying to shake us awake, to say, reality isn't broken, it's just bigger than we ever imagined. In the end, the Mandela effect may never be fully explained. It may be faulty memory. It may be parallel worlds. It may be a simulation glitch, a government experiment, or the birth pains of collective awakening. But whatever it is, it's real. Because the moment people feel their reality shift, it becomes real. And that's the terrifying, beautiful truth about consciousness. It shapes the world around it. So next time you remember something that no longer exists, don't dismiss it. Ask yourself, what if you didn't change? What if the world did? Because sometimes the only thing more powerful than the truth is the version of it you were never supposed to see. If this video shifted your perspective even just a little, then like it, subscribe to Empire Mindset, and share this with someone who remembers the other reality. And comment below, what's your Mandela effect? What memory do you know is real, even if the world says it never happened? Because in the end, reality might just be waiting for you to remember.